Saturday, May 19th, 2018. We're going to take a look at and listen to a bit from a fellow named Ben Livingston. So here's an infographic on cloud seeding. And then we'll just have a listen to the grandfather of cloud.
You take a cloud that Mother Nature or God has provided and you alter that cloud. Well, the reason the cloud doesn't expand on its own in most cases is the fact that there's a lot of moisture, but there's no nuclei. There's nothing for the moisture to stick to. So when you provide the silver iodide nuclei, it causes the water to coalesce to that nuclei, and when it does, it releases heat, which means everything starts to rise. If you produce enough nuclei at the right places in a cloud, there's essentially no limit to how fast and how far it'll grow, because it just keeps releasing heat as it goes up, and of course the heat keeps trying to rise.
So with the nuclei, it's very small and they're put off by these flares, but then water starts attracting to it and then it builds condensation.
Well, you put out a G into these, silver iodide nuclei, and they attract water. They just sponge it up. Well, when they do, that water condenses and it releases what they call the latent heat of condensation. The heat goes out of it, and the whole thing starts rising. If you're in the business of trying to kill clouds, then of course you go up to the area where there are some vertical shear, the wind blowing some direction or other, and you provide the nuclei at a level above where the raindrops are. They are then so light that the wind vertical shear merely blows the top of the cloud away. Then there's no place for the coalescence or the nucleation to take place. Well, the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Okay, so there, if you caught all that about the heat, where you can see the cloud in different areas to either kill it or make it expand. Okay, so we'll go back to this infographic, and because they're using silver iodide because it's shaped like ice crystal. Okay, and you got that, and nowadays we got. What if we could superheat area of a cloud and enhance this updraft by some other type of device on the ground? Perhaps an X-rad, okay? And basically, you got and lasers too. What they can do is this. Like right here, it says the microwave breakdown of air occurs when free electrons gain enough energy from an electric field to generate additional free electrons until no more can be generated, thereby resulting in avalanche ionization or breakdown. Okay? So they can aim these radars, and they got radars, for different areas of the atmosphere, and it's just like take a look at recent weather. Right, and first we'll start here, and when it's talking about releasing flares, and you always, when you're watching the weather, it seems like they're releasing certain flares. You can see them shooting off the sides, and how he explained, really there's no limit if once they start seeding a certain area for rapid growth and all that, and they don't just use silver iodide, they use other chemicals as well. And what do you see in all through this? Airplanes, airplane trails. And you can literally see chemical reactions happen. Alright, and then here's I read out of a book. If you get a chance, I would read it. It's very informative, called Under an Ionized Sky, From Chemtrails to Space Fence Lockdown by Ilana Freeland. And here they're talking about using, in this certain quote, they were in a presentation called Collaborative Research on Hurricane Modification by Carbon Black Dispersion, Methods, Risk Mitigation, and blah, 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 blah. So here they're talking about using carbon black to selectively heat parts of the atmosphere by dispersion of carbon black above a hurricane. Among the workshops was this little nugget. Distribute the cloud condensation nuclei aerosols on the peripheral of the hurricane using aircraft and ships. Now, what do we see all around the hurricane? Sure looks like aerosol dispersals from aircraft and ships, doesn't it? Does to me. Alright? And this is just your normal storms. You'll see this at every storm. To me, all the weather systems are molested. And you can see exactly what this fella here was talking about. Right, and I would suggest watching this whole video because there's a lot of nuggets in there, you know, about you know, how this all started. He was part of Operation Popeye and Operation Storm Fury. Popeye was when they used cloud seeding in Vietnam to flood the Ho Chi Minh Trail. They extended the monsoon season, so you know that it washed out a bridge and all that, and you know they couldn't move their supplies and all that, right? And Operation Storm Fury is the first hurricane that they tried to modify, right? And when I'm saying, like, you know, ice crystal, because you know they also use dry ice. It's ice hexagon shaped crystals and stuff. And I wanted to get to that. Where are we at here? Oh, when people see halos in the sky, right? Like here's one out in front of that I caught
September 11th,
out in front of Hurricane Irma.
2017.
Okay.
It's planes started early ahead. Tropical storm Irma.
Now you can see these multiple halos.
The sky completely hazed out.
Now, what a meteorologist or the TV or mainstream scientists tell you, all this is caused by ice crystals, okay? Alright, ice crystals. Well, silver iodide is ice crystal shaped. So it's barium. Barium's hexagon shaped, you know. So what you're seeing here, this is, I believe, I said September, the beginning of September, okay? There's no way this is ice crystals.
The opposite side of the sky. I forget what they're all called.
Right?
Yeah, that's
see that?
Right.
Okay. And here's another one. This has all the names of that, or what each arch is. And this is a chemical halo. This isn't ice crystals. Here, I'll show you a natural one. Here's a natural sundog halo. Okay, you can see how different it is. You get that cross, and this is actually caused by actual ice crystals, not a chemical compound shaped like ice crystal. Okay, here's an album I had of Hurricane Irma, and you can see the same thing with this storm. It made a beeline for the next red in, what's this, the Florida Keys. And you can see all the trails on the peripheral. Right here, all the trails. This was the day, September 11th, I seen all them halos. Right? And look at it. Just look all around the hurricane. What do you have? Aerosols. Okay? Chemical halo. Natural halo. But anyways, that should cover what I wanted to cover. And like I said, I'd watch this video of the father of weaponized weather. But, you know, you got to put all this stuff together, like read these books and read like their methods, and and then you can go look at the weather and see exactly what they're explaining. But anyways, that's my report. We'll check back in at a later date.